One of the basic contemporary questions about Chanukah is whether one can light Chanukah candles in a car, plane, train, boat, and so on and so forth. Let me give you the answer up front before we get into the issues. Perhaps you can light, but certainly without a bracha. There are two aspects to this question. First of all, a question of lighting a place which is not a house, because the mitzvah of Chanukah is ner ish ubeisro. So a question how we can light a shul, which is not your house. And obviously that became minhag and minhag Yisrael, and the poskim, of course, say that that's fine. But it's interesting because the Simcha Zissel Broida says that not at the Kaisel. The Kaisel says you can't light with a bracha because it's not a base knesses. It's outside. And he says that the mitzvah is only connected to a house or a base knesses, which is like a house. And therefore any outdoor minyan, or even according to many poskim, a minyan in a tent or some other temporary structure, you could not light with a bracha. Even though it's interesting because the minhag in many places is to light outside the house, in the chotzer, the opening to the chotzer. But obviously it has to be linked to a house. So that's one issue. So many poskim say that the airplane, a car, a train, if it belongs to you or you rented it out for the night, it's considered to be your place. And it is a house because it has walls. Other poskim hold, no, something transient of that sort, you consider that to be a house. The Aruch HaShulchan is lenient, the Marasham is lenient, they spoke about trains, but other poskim such as Rav Elyashiv are machmir and say no, especially an airplane where you're just sitting there for a few hours. Rav Elyashiv says it has to be a place where you stay for 3 days. Not sure where that comes from. But there's a separate question of what you can light with, because in most of these places, they're not going to let you light with a real candle. And whether you can use electricity is a question. Many poskim are meko for Shabbos candles, or even those poskim, such as Reb Shlomo Zalman, Auerbach, and others who speak about this question comes to Chanukah, Sri Pesach Frank, Rav Ovadia Yosef, say that by Chanukah you need to have fuel and a wick. And the nafkamina, there's a rampant difference here whether you use a candle with a battery powered light, which then would be considered to be perhaps a source of fuel, or something which is connected to the power outlet in your house, which would not be considered to be an independent source of fuel in the candle. That's one issue. The other issue is when you have a filament. An LED light, everybody says no good, but a filament, is that considered to be burning or cooking? Because when you heat up the filament, yes, it makes a light, but it's because it's, according to many posts, considered to be mavashel, not mavir. So you need to have avora, fire for the purpose of Chanukah. So therefore, you should light, preferably battery operated, without a bracha.